Hey, everybody, Off the Mic Sports Network here. Another edition of Off the Top Rope. And go ahead and pester the comments. Mike Mayer is going to talk about another Mercedes Mone topic. And I know you people are going to say, Mike, you're obsessed with her. I was like, I'm not obsessed with her. Mercedes videos that I've done on this channel get a lot of traction. It's clearly something that you guys are interested in, whether you love me or you hate me. It clearly creates a buzz within, whoever follows Off the Top Rope and whoever follows and subscribes to this channel, whether you love me or you hate me, you are interested in hearing me talk about Mercedes Mone. The conversation, everything, you know, in some ways that is true about her. She starts a lot of conversations, and it's listen. So I need to address this because I found it really interesting, considering how much I get killed in my comments, and how divisive of a figure Mercedes really is in the fan base. I find it really interesting that, a lot of people just try to tell me that I'm wrong and tell me that, like, hey, Mercedes deserves everything. She's the greatest. She deserves that she got wronged in WWE. She's just getting everything that she was owed back in her time. I'm kind of paraphrasing here. So what's interesting here is I'm going to weave two topics here that you guys are clearly interested about when it comes to women's wrestling. One of them is Mercedes Mone. The other is Mariah May, the formerly known Mariah May, currently known as Blake Monroe in WWE. And so I talked about this on my channel the other day. Blake Monroe's vlog became public, and it was her recorded about 5 hours before she made her official debut in NXT. And I'm assuming this is where she just showed up with no name, and then 2 weeks later she, signed her contract with NXT, and she wasn't on there this week, which I thought was a little bit of a mistake, but we won't go there. So Blake Monroe was quoted in this saying that she felt dejected, I think was the right word, dejected near the end of last year, and she needed to revive her love for professional wrestling, and now she's in WWE. She was also quoted as saying, it was always my dream. She was even crying on video that she'd finally realized her dream at 26 years old of being a WWE superstar in NXT. And I thought that was it was really raw emotion. You could see how much it meant to her. But what was interesting is NXT people started calling her a traitor and started calling her ungrateful because she felt dejected when she was the champion. And wait a second, hold on. Okay. Let me get this straight. You guys get mad at me when I go after Mercedes and saying that she is holding back the women's division in AEW because she keeps winning. She's not giving back, even though she's saying she's giving back, which is a bunch of bullshit. Mariah May goes in there for 2 years, gets a great storyline with Toni Storm, wins the women's championship in Wembley Stadium. You guys say she should be grateful for that. She then went on to have one of the worst title runs, male or female, that maybe I have ever seen in professional wrestling. It was atrocious the way that they booked her. It was almost like it was a token title run because they knew that Mariah was leaving. And if that's the case, if you're Tony Khan, what the fuck are you doing if you knew that this girl's direction was to go to WWE? Why are you doing that? Because you're setting yourself up for failure, and you're making yourself look like an idiot. And Mariah made it known. Like, to me, that doesn't make her sound ungrateful. She had a goal. She wanted to go somewhere, and she made it happen, and good for her. So Mercedes Mone did the exact same thing, and she's doing all of the things that she basically pointed out that she didn't want to become. Like, the whole thing that she was fighting was Charlotte Flair and like all these brass rings. Mariah May did a lot of those things and was elevated to a certain level by Toni Storm, which I give Toni a ton of credit for. And yet you guys are mad at me for criticizing Mercedes for leaving and then taking every opportunity from every other woman in that division. Meanwhile, Mariah May is going to live out her dream in WWE, and she's ungrateful because, hey, she felt dejected at the end of a run where she was booked terribly as a women's champion. Because you want to know who felt like the bigger deal in that company at the back half of 2025? Mercedes Mone is the TBS champion, felt like the bigger deal. And I understand the TBS title is they were trying to make that feel like a bigger deal, but come on, like what are why do I have to be the one who has to face the criticism when I'm just being super critical and being honest to you guys about, hey, I do not think that she has done good for the women's division, Mercedes. I don't think she has. And side note from this, while we're comparing these two and going Mercedes versus Mariah or Mercedes versus Blake, whatever you want to call it, um, like Mariah is going to NXT. Like, she's not getting handed anything. She took less money to leave. She could have had more money in AEW and stayed there for the long run if she wanted to, but she wanted to go to WWE. And you guys are calling her a sellout and you guys are calling her a traitor? This is her dream, okay? So she signed a short-term deal. She kind of played the system the right way. And now, hey, she's getting rewarded for it. She's still going to have to work for every opportunity that she's going to get. She'll probably get fast-tracked to the main roster because she's so effing good. But you guys get mad at me for basically saying that Mercedes is basically the opposite of that. She had the WWE run. She left, took the money, took the creative control and everything that she ever wanted. And now look what it's doing. The women's division is unrecognizable. She didn't face Mariah May because, Mariah probably didn't want to lose and Mercedes didn't want to lose. Or, Mariah, or, to be honest with you, I have no idea why that match didn't happen. That's a missed opportunity, in my opinion. But it's just like, I don't understand how you stands for Mercedes will honestly just be, hey, listen, in the same breath, you'll be like, she's so great. She's so great. She can win all these championships and she's the greatest wrestler of all time. Listen, I'm going to do a separate video to kind of clarify some comments from Bully Ray, because I think in some respect he was right. But I think we need to start characterizing and distinguishing differences between wrestler and performer, because I think that's where a lot of this stuff is getting lost in translation. And maybe I'm misrepresenting myself because I respect everything that Mercedes has done as a wrestler. But it's the politician. It's all the bullshit behind the scenes. It's her getting all the money, her getting all the creative control. You can deny that all that you want. She has said that publicly. She does have creative control. So for you guys to go after Mariah May, Blake Monroe, and basically say she's a liar, she's a traitor, she's ungrateful, she's a bit. I mean, I'm pretty sure there were some people who said she was a bitch. And if you're one of those people, go fuck off. Because nobody deserves to get called that in any respect. And I've never used that word. You want to say that I'm a hateful fuck when it comes to Mercedes? I've never called her that word, and I won't ever call her that word because women don't ever deserve to be called that. Okay? And if you're one of those people who wants to do that, you're an ungrateful fuck yourself. Okay? So just in plain English, let's put it that way. But for you people to honestly tell me that Mercedes is the greatest, and I'm sure you're the same people who are saying Mariah is ungrateful. I just spelled it out for you. Mariah's taken less money to go to WWE because it's her dream. She wants to be there. And side note, maybe she thinks the creative sucks in AEW. Meanwhile, Mercedes, everything that she didn't get in WWE, she's going to AEW. It's being paid off with money, creative power, creative influence, and all these titles that mean absolutely nothing. So why am I the bad guy? Why am I the bad guy for basically being critical of Mercedes being power hungry and being Mercedes Hogan? And Mariah's the bad person for going out to live her dream and taking potentially less money to be in developmental? That's a bad thing? Really? You guys see how hypocritical you guys sound? I can't even talk right now because it's aggravating to me because, for one, you guys pester me with comments. You tell me that I'm obsessed with this woman. All I'm doing is doing what you guys tell me is what you're interested in. And that's by clicking on these videos, interacting with me, liking, sharing, and by the extension, getting it into the algorithm. And, you're clearly mad at what I'm saying. She is great. I'm not dismissing that. But to say in the same breath that she's great and I'm a piece of shit for saying that, she's taking away opportunities from, and she's kind of, exposed herself for like the other aspects of the business. And then you guys go to Blake Monroe for something that she said in her vlog when she was being honest and raw and emotional about finally living out her dream and, just saying honestly, hey, I felt a little bit dejected. And, we don't even know what the context of that was. We can speculate all we want. Maybe it was because of booking. Maybe it was because she was burnt out. I don't know. Like she's also, bear in mind this, she's 26 years old and she's at the top of her game, thought of as one of the best women superstars across the world. When fame gets to you there, like it could wear you down. So that's the other part of this. And we saw what that did to Mercedes. She had to leave twice because the grind and the stuff and like some of the things not going her way, it affected her. So maybe that's what this is too. So in a lot of ways, even though these two situations aren't exactly the same, and these two women were in the same company, they're kind of are the same because it's just you've got one woman who's going the opposite way, leaving AEW, going to WWE. It's her dream. Mercedes' dream was probably WWE. She left because she didn't feel fulfilled there. She goes to the other place. Now she's getting everything that she ever wanted. And yet I'm an asshole for pointing out that, hey, this isn't exactly going the way that it should and everything that she said. Meanwhile, Mariah's a bad person? Hey, come on. You guys don't make any sense. So anyway, thanks so much for watching another Mercedes video for all you motherfuckers. I'll see you guys later. Bye-bye.